Hey everybody, happy Thursday. It's Thursday. I may look a little different and whatever. I feel good. Today was the day of the little job interview that I had just taken a shot for because the store was not open yet, and I walked past. And let me get into what I wanted to tell you. Happy Thursday. And by the way, in no way am I endorsed, sponsored, or ambassador by any of the companies in which I speak. I solely just speak for them, speak about them out of the goodness of my heart. The thing is that I was walking past the other day, Hobby Lobby, okay? And I decided to wonder why that the store wasn't supposed to be, it was supposed to be opened technically January 1st, okay? They are looking now at a date in mid-March. I just want to let you know on that. The thing is that I saw the sign on the door that says that they're, we're hiring, and they gave you that little barcode scanner thingy. So I took out my phone and I scanned that scanner, which took me to their actual website to, if I wanted to apply. Okay. So the thing is that I applied. Let me switch this over here because, for some reason, the lighting in here seems to be, I know my glasses are very clean, and that seems to be another problem. But anyway, so I decided, out of not just curiosity, but I had decided to give it a shot. And I scanned it, went into my phone at the mall. I'm sitting there because this happened to have been Monday evening. I was waiting for my husband because we were going to go to Applebee's. So I says, no problem, I'm going to meet you here. I'm already here. Okay, he was already on his way home, on his way to me. So while he was doing that, I'm sitting at the mall, people watching. I'm having a soda, and I decided to pull up my phone, pull up that barcode scan thing. It took me to the website, and I says, you know what? I'm going to take a shot, and I'm going to make an attempt to fill out the little application. So I did this. And filling that out, never expected anything. It's either a yes or no. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Okay, fine. It says, to put down the days in which you are able to work, whether it be day or night. That's always iffy for me. Okay, that's always iffy. I know that, if this was like 20 or 30 years ago, I would jump at the chance. I would be doing, anything. I did it with Disney 23 years ago. Dare I even say that was like 23 years, 22, 23 years ago. That's how long it's been since I worked at retail. So I'm getting as I'm doing this application on my phone, I'm getting all these flashbacks. Some heartfelt, I says, okay, just fill out the damn application, Maureen, and stop getting involved, because then I start thinking of memories. I says, no, this is not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for now. This is today. This is 2024. Move on, Maureen. Okay, sometimes you can't do that. At least with me. I have too many good memories. So anyway, but then bittersweet ones, because then I start getting pissed off. But anyhow, finished that application, closed out the application. I sent it. 2 seconds later, I wind up getting an email in my email, saying that this is your confirmation number. We have received your request. I'm going, oh wow, that really went in. I says, okay, that went in. So along with that, I now, maybe about 45 minutes later, here comes my husband. We go to Applebee's for dinner. We're sitting there. We ordered our first appetizers, which was, we love the dipping with the artichoke and spinach dip with the chips. We love that. Anyway, as we were sitting there talking, my husband's telling me about his day. I didn't mention my day yet. So I have a habit of throwing it in as kind of a surprise. I did that also with the Disney situation. My husband thought I was kidding him about Disney until things actually happened. So I said to myself, what are the chances that I can pull this off again? So then my husband says to me, well, how was your day? I says, okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm dipping my chip in the thing. I says, well, no, nothing. I came here late because I didn't want to stay here all day. I just went store hopping. I applied for Hobby Lobby and, really, and I kind of slipped that in. He said, what? I said, I applied, to maybe get a little interview. He says, get out of here. See, I love proving people wrong. So I took up my cell phone. I said, well, here's my confirmation, I says. And he's reading the email. Confirmed. He says, okay. He says, that's nice. He says, do you think you can, do that? And, because, I have my health issues as well anyway. I says, oh, yeah. I just says, listen, I wouldn't try for it. I says, let's just give it a shot. Anything that I try for, I just give it a little shot. I try not to be too, I hope. I can't do that to myself anymore because I've been shot down over the years so many times, it's not even funny. So I decided to do that. We're eating, we're dipping, we're eating. All of a sudden, the phone rings. Now, it's not a number that I know. And I have a habit on my cell phone that I don't answer any numbers that I don't know. It said scam likely. So I looked down at my phone. It says, let it go to voicemail. If they want me that bad enough, let them go to voicemail. Sure enough, now, usually if it's scam likely, they'll hear my voice message pick up, and then they get distracted, and then they get disappointed, and then they hang up. So that's how I get rid of people like that, because it was most likely a phony number anyway. All of a sudden, blip, a voicemail. I went, oh God, okay, fine. Telemarketer thing. I then pick up the phone and I hear the voicemail, and it says, hi, so-and-so, I'm so-and-so from Hobby Lobby. We received your application. We would like to know if you would still be interested in coming in. We would like to speak with you. I almost dropped the phone. I know I dropped the chip on the table. I had to throw that away because I don't like my chips touching the table. My husband says, what's the matter? So I played the message back to him on a speakerphone. I says, hear this. Now hear this. And I got a smile on my face. So then within 2 seconds, I wind up calling that number back. And I spoke to one of the managers, and he said yes. And I just made the appointment for today, which is Thursday. And I says, would 9 a.m.? He says, that's great. He says, so I went in 9 o'clock this morning, and I had the, want to say what they consider it the first part of an interview, but to me, I consider it the second, but it doesn't matter. So I walked in this morning at 9 a.m. I was actually there about 20 minutes to 9. And I says to my husband, the old reflexes tend to come back. I says, because I was never late years ago for anything. Years ago, and I still do this to this day on a regular watch. You can't do it with an Apple Watch, but I do it with my regular Disney watches, my Invicta watches. I usually set the time 20 minutes before. I'm never late for anything. To me, there's no excuse to be late. It just doesn't, never worked for me. I just had these weird things. So all those reflexes are now starting to come back. So I got there this morning about 20 minutes to 9. I says, okay, now it's very cold out. It is like 23 degrees out. I says, of all days for me to have a job interview would be on the coldest day. Why couldn't it happen last week with 55 degrees? Because I didn't try for it last week. But anyway. So the man opens the door, and okay, we go in for the interview. Another man hands me a piece of paper. Now, I've been telling you this a while. If you guys know of me, if you guys hear of me, I hate math. Math was never my subject. And if this was my husband, he would have passed out on the floor. But anyway, they give you one of the requirements, and this happens to be the only requirement right now, is a math test. You get 17 questions. I was like, oh, BKB, my favorite subject. I says, somebody's got not a hex on me, but somebody's looking at me going, you can do this, Mo, or you either going to do it or you're going to fail, either one. But it's going to be on you yourself. So you know what? If I fail, it's my own fail. That's it. I take that and that's it. Nobody forced me to do it. I came this far. That's how I think of it. And I just felt so damn good this morning. I really do. So, okay, I said, no problem. So the man sits me at the table. He says, you could sit right here. I was one of the first ones in here this morning. The man says, you can sit at the table. And then he hands me a yellow notepad. He says, if, for any questions you need to, we're not, we don't discriminate or anything. Please take all the time you want. It's not a time test. He says, this is not school. I says, oh, well, thank God. So what are we doing the math test for? But anyway, he says, take all the time you want. Please relax, take your jacket off and everything. He says, I'll leave you alone. He says, I'll be over here. And then all of a sudden, people started, wandering in. And there was, something's going to really bother me. There was a woman, um, an older woman, maybe a little older than me, myself. And she came in and they handed her the paper. Now, she sat in the corner at the table. She was like at the head of the table. I was in the middle of the table. She was at the head of the table. And I felt a little bad. She just stared at that paper. I was like into my fifth question, and sometimes I had to leave a question and go back to a question, because my mind, it's early in the morning now, but you know what? If I was 15 years old in school, I'd probably have to do this anyway. So I'm saying to myself, I'm trying to get myself together. You got this, Mo. You got this, Mo. You got this, Mo. Don't worry about it. You got this. It's like riding a bike. Okay, so you hate numbers and you hate math, but they're in here somewhere. Okay, wake your mind up. So, but I couldn't help but to eventually, like, as I was writing things, I was looking at her, but she was just sitting there. I just didn't think she just had it in her to do it. And that's fine. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. I think this was more of a surprise for anybody to just come in and get handed a piece of paper. There were 17 questions on this paper. Then there was another gentleman. Now people are starting to float in. Another gentleman came in. He sat across from me. And I had the whole entire yellow pad. And I'm using this pad. I'm using my fingers in my head. I'm using my toes. And one of the things I did, because I didn't want to hear anything, I did not do anything like this. I took my cell phone, shut it down, put it in my bag. That was it. Because I didn't want anybody to say, oh, look, she's doing it. I didn't see anybody else doing that either. I'm not saying that, but I didn't want anybody to say, oh, look, she's going to cheat or she's looking at her cell phone. Yeah, you think she's reading messages, but that's not the case. I don't do that, okay? And 23 years ago, we never had cell phones, so that was good on that one. So I took the cell phone, put it down, I put it in my bag, and that was it. And I continued doing what I'm doing. And I took home my paper. Okay? This is my paper. So I was figuring things out with my head. I was using my noggin, folks. A thing that probably not everybody seems to do anymore. Okay? So I'm old school when it comes to this. So I did this. I have to show my husband. He's going to get such a kick out of this. He would have died altogether, but he's going to get such a kick. Now, years ago in school, I was always, and this was God's honest truth, I would cut classes during high school. I would cut classes because it was just my thing to do. Junior high, it just wasn't my thing to hang out at school all day. I know. It's one of those things. I'm a city kid. But when there was a test, I would show up that day for the test, take the test. I did not mind tests. For some reason, I never got overwhelmed or anything with taking a test. Fine. You know what? I'm going to go in and do this. If I got the answer, fine. If I figure it out, fine. At least I tried. At least but that was always the thing with me. I don't know what it was. For that seemed to have come back again today. That I had a flashback. I says, I could do this, I got this. Oh, good, a pen and a paper. Now I got to use my brain. Yes, most kids in school probably today don't use their brains. I have no idea what they're using, but I did. Okay. So I got through with the 17 questions. Some of them were kind of like a division times table, and, they were asking word questions, if you had a pallet, you have 7 pallets. If you have 12 trees on a pallet, how many trees would there be with the 7 pallets? Things like that, and then some of them, to me, 1 or 2 of them, I says, okay, I'm going to step back from that one. I'm going to continue on this one. I'm going to see what else, and then I'm going to go back to these. It's just so. And I got through the 17 questions. I did. So the other lady gets up and she kind of takes the paper and walks across the room, and she seems to be walking around, and I remember her talking to somebody because I was still concentrating, and I don't know, I think she left on that point, but that's such a shame. That's such a shame, I felt bad. I did, but again, I'm trying to concentrate on myself, God bless. I hope she's okay. I hope, she can find something that maybe would suit her a little better. Maybe just math again. Math is not for everybody. Okay. However, getting back to me, I finished my 17 questions. I then stand up and I turn around. The gentleman says, "Oh, yes, Maureen, you're ready." I said, "Yes." So now we're on a first name basis. That's cool. Because the gentleman that called me on the phone to set this up was the gentleman that I had this little interview with now. So, welcome, blah, blah, blah. I said, yes, tell me a little about yourself. And I told him about myself. One of the things that I don't usually like to do right away, or to do anything at all, I try to hold that back because, you don't want to discriminate yourself from doing what it is that you set yourself up to do to begin with. Okay. Now, I tried for Primark around the Christmas holiday. I tried for Primark. I didn't even get the second interview, but I had the first interview, and that interview was right then and there, sitting down, because they were holding the pre-interviews that day. I thought I had a great shot for the second interview. I guess not. I mean, it was a great feeling. I always had a great feeling. I always go in with a nice attitude. I really do. And today is the same thing. It's no different. It just gives me something to shoot for. So, but I didn't get the Primark, and that's a store that I would love, okay? So, but this store now, and I explained to him, married, and, I don't want to bring itself down, like giving negative answers to where they have to decide, okay, this person is probably just talking ahead of it. She really doesn't want this. So she's, you don't want to make yourself feel like you're talking yourself out of something. That's something I don't do either. Okay, because if that was the case, I would have no business of even sitting in that chair trying for this shot right now. That's just how I think. I just think of logic. I really do. So we got through that. He looks at the paper with the math. He says, okay, and he's asking me questions. Now, right now, they basically need people for heavy stocking, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, that's not for me. But they did give me a certain date to go back because I am already now on file. By the way, out of the 17 math questions, they want you to require 8. Out of 17, you can at least get 8 right. I am so damn proud of myself right now. I got 14 right. So my brain kind of still works a little. So that's pretty cool. I'm happy about that. I was very happy about that. He says, he didn't tell me what I got right or anything. He didn't tell me what I got wrong. He says, well, you did very well in the math. He says, he's out of 17 questions, he got 14 right. He said, so that's way past the 8. I was like, yes, it is. So, I just had a good feeling. Everything went pretty good, at least on my side. It was very early to come out, so there was no stores open when I did leave. So we left on a good note. The store does open in mid-March. Asked me a few more questions. I answered that. Never asked for birth date or anything. One of the things that I like to do is I like to let people know that I'm a little bit of an older person. I may not look it right now, but I am, He says, we do not discriminate. He says, it's fine. He explained to me some things. We had a lovely chat. It was very, very relaxed interview. I was very comfortable. Not to get too personal, to answer, not to keep talking. One thing in an interview is like, get to the basic questions, and when they ask you, just answer to the best of your ability. Don't go into any other things. Don't start, rambling on. That's one of the things I don't do either. So, but it was a very comfortable, and I'm very proud, and that part is over with. If I get anything at all, that would be fine. I still don't know. Also the fact that when I do walk in March, it's not a set thing to just, you come back to us for another interview. It's not like that. They're always looking for more people. They have about 200 applicants right now. The thing is that many people are starting to drop out because they can't do it on this day. They can't do it on that. They can't see that now. They hear 7 in the morning to 7 at night for the first maybe 3 or 4 weeks because they have to stock the store. Right now, the store is completely empty. They didn't even get in any shipments yet. So those are the time frames that they need right now for people, and they have to do heavy lifting. They have to set up the displays. If this was me 20 years ago at the Disney store, you got me. I'm there because that's what I love to do also. I like moving things. I like setting things up. I worked also in Disney Store down at Receiving. I had a ball down there. It was great. Nighttime team, you set up the display, set up the weather. It was awesome. It was awesome. But those days are now over. So this is 2024. But again, it had me thinking to back then. But I know what my limitations are right now. So one of the things I always had a fear of was the register, cash register, although I was a ringer. I did do ringing. He says that's no problem. I had explained to him my previous job 20 years ago. I says, I've been out of the field way long, but I was a ringer also. I says that was one of my fears, even though I did the job, I completed, I could do it. I says, but I always have that fear of learning that part. And I says, which I was totally honest. The Disney Store, when they did do the training, it was very fast. It was within and I'm not kidding you, under 3 hours. So you had to learn the register in like 3 hours. That was back then. So he says, well, that's not going to be the case here. We work, we train people, we do training. He says, it's not going to be that way. So I felt good about that as well. So I felt a little confident with that. I want to learn the machine. I'm always machine inclined. I love my computer system and everything. I'm a computer nerd, but those things, if I have to learn them, So he assured me on that, and I felt very good with that. So all in all, this day went good. It is now 10:56. I'm going to hang out at home. I'm not going to go out no more. That's going to be it. It's a beautiful day, but it's very, very cold. It is in the 20s. I think it's going up to 33 degrees. Maybe I'll go out tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day. I'm not doing it today. I was already out. I was out and about. And the streets are a little bit empty about that hour, about 8:30. I know there's kids going to school, but, I also have to, if I do, if this goes any further, I will have to watch my surroundings and when I walk, because some of the areas are more of like a dead zone around here. So, but he seemed to be pleased that also that I am in the area, that I don't drive to, I won't have to drive to work. I don't drive anyway, but I says, I am basically in walking distance of this store. I said, so it's good. So he seemed to have been pleased about that too. So all in all, I think it went good, but I will return back in March and I am already on file. He says, when and if you do come in, you tell them that you already had your pre-interview, that the second half should happen. He says, and if it doesn't happen, there better be a good reason. He says, I wouldn't know the reason. He says, but right now, he says, things happen. He says, I'm letting you know. I give you the lowdown. And he seemed to have been very honest to explain everything to me. So I was good with that as well. Yeah, so I'm coming home here. I'm home. I'm having my tea. I put some makeup on today, just to look a little bit nice, a little bit more presentable, nice clothing. I did want to have my hair a little bit better, but it's okay, it's okay. But that math test was a trip. I got to show my husband. I took a picture of this to show my husband. I says, look what I had to do today. He would have been mortified. Back then at school, he doesn't like math either. So, but anyway, that was it. Right now it's still up in the air, but you know what? I did what I needed to do, and if it requires, I would do it again, definitely. Now, I also have the store Burlington. Burlington is open, but they are also hiring. So if this maybe by chance doesn't work out, I could try there as well, Maybe for the seasonal, for the holidays again, maybe I could try for Primark again. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I am surrounded here by stores. But it also has to be which store that I know that I would love and that I could benefit from and would really enjoy spending some time to work for a few hours a day. I mean, I could do that, but it has to be to what that you are capable of doing and that what you can do, and that you can't overdo what you can't do, because then that causes problems, so pretty good. That's really it. I'm going to continue my day. And that's really it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for all your good wishes and everything. So fingers crossed. But again, the second part now, I'll have to walk in on my own in mid-March and let them know that I am on file. And let's see if they can take it from there. Let's take it from there. All right. Happy Thursday. Love to all. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.